today we're going to be making a family sensory prayer mat full of little items that are important to us and remind us of our family and the people in our family, that we can be praying for them and thinking about them at the same time. So what will you need then to have for this activity? So I want you to go away and get yourself some water and put some food colouring or food dye in to make it colourful. If you don't have food colouring or food dye, you could add paint in there as well and just give it a good stir around, and that'll work just as well. Also then you can have some glitter to add in to your bag as well to make it sparkle. You can have items to put into your bag as well that are important to you as a family. So you're thinking about how we can pray for each other and pray for us together as a family. So in here, I have made a little heart out of a pipe cleaner to remind me to pray for my family and to love my family, because sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard. I have a little character here, a little person that reminds me of somebody in my family, and so whenever I'll feel that and touch that in the sensory bag, I will remember to pray for them. I have a Lego brick here with dots on, 6 dots, to remind me of the 6 people that are in my family and to pray for them. And I have another Lego dot here to remind me of other people that I should be praying for in my church community, in my family community, the people that I know all around me. I have a little frog here, and that reminds me of God's creation, and I love frogs, and just reminds me to thank God for all the things that he has created and made. I have little hands here as well, and it's to remind me of my hands and helping hands and how I can be helpful and useful to those around me. I have a little toy here that reminds me of the joy it is to play and to have some fun together as well, and to do that and to pray for that we would have joy and fun at this time in our lives. I've got some buttons as well to remind me of the creativity of the clothes that we wear and the things that we have, and to remind us to pray for the things that God has given us in our lives. I've got some letters as well, and the letter J to remind me to pray for me, Julie. I have some balloons to remind me just to have some fun as well, and just different items that can go in to the bag, but you must remember that they need to be waterproof. Otherwise they'll dissolve. So make sure that they're plastic or waterproof in some way that you can put them into your little bag for your sensory activity. Now the bag is made out of one of these, a laminating pouch. And so we just need one of those, and it'll be opened, and we'll create a bag from it that we will fill and create our sensory mat. But in order to close our bag and make it secure, we use our hair straighteners. Now, I'm sure some of you, most of you would have hair straighteners, even Daddy. This activity, when we're using the hair straighteners, we must remember that it's adults only for this part. That the adults need to be using this, not the children. This gets very, very hot, and we need to be really, really careful with it. Okay? And so if you go and get those items ready for this activity, that will be fantastic. You can also go and get some sellotape or masking tape in order to stick around as well, if you prefer to do that. And if you don't have a laminating pouch, you can use a plastic food bag as well, but we'll show you how to do that too. So if you would go and get those items now and then come back, we'll be ready to get started. Okay, see you in a minute. Bye. Okay, welcome back. So we're going to be making one of these, our family sensory prayer mat. Okay, so I hope you've gathered everything that you require. And so first of all, we're going to take our laminating sheet. It's got 3 sides, and 3 of them are open and 1 is not. So the top one here, we want to keep at the top because it's already sealed. Now we want to seal all 2 sides first of all, so that we have it ready as a bag. So this is where an adult needs to use the hair straighteners to help to do this activity. So very carefully, it's very hot, you will go down the side of the bag to seal it, but don't go in too far, otherwise you create a very small bag. So just at the sides there, just seal it So go down the side of the bag and seal the bag as you go down, okay? So you'll see it sealing itself and going clear as it's stuck together, okay? So the heat helps it to stick down and creates a nice seal. So there's one side done. Now turn it over and we'll do the other side. So we'll bring the heat down and you can see it as it goes down. As it goes down through, it will seal the side. So there we go. It's all sealed, nice and secure, that no water should escape. Okay. So then once you've got that done, you'll be able to open your bag like that, and you'll be able to fill your bag with your items that you've collected around your house. Okay, so remember, I have my balloons that go in for a bit of fun, a fun little character to remember to pray for the people around us, a little Lego with 6 little bumps on it to remind me of my family. I have a little person to remind me of that person that I know who looks like that. I've got some little creatures to remind me of God's creation around me. I've got little hands to remind me to be good and gentle and kind and use my hands with other people around me. I have buttons. I have a little heart shape to remind me of God's heart for me and for other people as well, and just to be caring and sharing with them as well. And so we're just going to add those into the bag like that. And I also have little shapes of Lego, the one little cubes, and I put little faces on them to remind me. Sometimes I'm cross, but most of the time I'm happy. And I've got little people like that in here as well to just look at and to remind me of things that I can be praying for. So as we add, I'm going to add in some red and some silver glitter to create some glitteriness inside my bag. And then this is the tricky bit. So again, you might want an adult to help you in case it spills or in case it knocks over. You want to add your water, your liquid. And so I have mine with my nice green food colouring dye or paint. Remember, we can use paint as well. And we're just going to fill up our bag, okay? Now we want to fill up the bag so that it's more than halfway, about 3/4 of the way full with your water, okay? So you might want to use a couple of people to hold the bag while maybe mummy or daddy or an adult fills it for you. And so you can see all the things that are inside the bag floating at the minute. And we'll just continue to fill that up a wee bit more so that we have a full sensory bag like that. Okay, now the next thing that you need to do is you need to get out all the air that's in the bag, because you don't want any air, and it doesn't really matter if you've got a couple of air bubbles, but that's fine. So what you do is you go and take it to an edge of your table and you lean it against it and you try and take out the water, the air from that, but trying to keep it as dry as possible. And then what you want to do is you want to take your hair straighteners again, you need to be using an adult for this. Make sure it's nice and safe as we close the bag up. And so we want to close the bag up with the hair straighteners. The heat will close the top of the bag for you and you'll see it being closed like that. So that'll take out any of the air, and you can squeeze out the air while you're going. Keep it safe and keep you safe. So remember, an adult needs to be doing this little bit here. And then I'm doing a little bit at a time so that a little bit of the air can escape out the side there. So that while you're doing that, you can let air out of your bag. So that we can have not too much air left inside the bag. It doesn't really matter if there is a little bit of air in your bag, because that just creates a little bubble for you as well to play with on your bag. So when you've got it sealed, and it actually cools quite quickly, and it's sealed quite quickly, then your bag is ready to lie down and for you to use as a prayer mat. for the whole family to come together and to pray. And you can feel and touch for those items within your little prayer mat, and be praying for the people and the things that they remind you of, and just have some fun with it. And as a family, you can sit around, you can place it on the table, and you can sit around and you can play with the little things in there and be feeling and touching and remembering to pray for one another, to pray for each other as a family, to pray for those that we love around us and that can't be with us at the minute, and to pray for our church family and our community that we live in as well. So we hope you enjoy that craft activity, and we hope you enjoy your sensory prayer mat. If you don't have one of these bags to be making, then you can make it from the sandwich bag here as well. But make sure that you have it sealed really, really well at the top as well. And it's just exactly the same way it's made, adding the liquid, adding all your little items that remind you to pray, and to have that as an alternative for you to use. But these little mats should do you for a couple of weeks, unless you're really rough, and it might burst open. So just be careful when you're using it and playing with it and having it around. You might want to put it in a tray or something like that when you're praying, just in case. Okay, have fun, enjoy praying together, and enjoy this activity. Bye.